Kenji held his breath. He had been traveling for 18 hours. He had flown across the Pacific Ocean. He had waited in a long line at customs. He had fought through traffic in a taxi. All he wanted, the only thing in the world he wanted, was a soft bed and a hot shower. He stood at the marble counter of the Grandview Hotel. The receptionist, a woman with sharp glasses and a serious face, stopped typing. She looked at the screen. Then she looked at Kenji. Then she looked back at the screen. "I am sorry, sir," she said, her voice cool and professional. "But I don't see your name in our system. Are you sure you booked for tonight?" Kenji's stomach dropped. He felt cold. He was in a foreign city, it was midnight, and the hotel had no record of him. He was homeless. But before we find out if Kenji sleeps on the street tonight. Hello, travelers. Welcome back to the podcast. I am your teacher, and today we are checking in. In this episode, you will learn English by listening to the story of Kenji, a traveler who faces a nightmare situation at a luxury hotel. We are going to explore the vocabulary of travel, how to solve problems politely, and how to get what you paid for. To help you navigate your next trip, we are going to focus on 3 specific power words that you will hear today: reservation, overbooked, and complimentary. Are you ready to get your room key? Let's approach the front desk. Kenji had saved money for 6 months for this trip. He was visiting San Francisco for the first time. He wanted everything to be perfect. He didn't book a cheap hostel. He booked the Grandview Hotel, famous for its view of the Golden Gate Bridge. When he walked through the revolving doors, he was impressed. The lobby smelled like fresh lilies and expensive perfume. There was a giant crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling. It sparkled like diamonds. Let me describe the atmosphere. It was elegant. It was quiet. The floor was polished marble that reflected the lights. Kenji looked down at his own clothes. He was wearing sweatpants and a wrinkled t-shirt. He felt a little underdressed. He dragged his heavy suitcase across the floor. Rumble, rumble, rumble. He walked up to the reception desk. There was a small golden sign that said, "Check-in." Behind the desk stood a woman named Miss Stone. She wore a perfectly pressed black uniform. She looked like she never made a mistake. "Good evening," Kenji said. "I am here to check in." "Good evening, sir," Miss Stone replied. "May I have your passport and credit card, please?" Kenji handed them over. He felt relieved. In 5 minutes, he would be sleeping. But then, the typing started. And it didn't stop. Click-clack. Click-clack. Miss Stone frowned. She adjusted her glasses. She typed some more. "Mr. Kenji Soto?" she asked. "Yes," Kenji said. "I see a reservation for next month," she said. "But I do not see a reservation for tonight, October 15th. Kenji felt a wave of panic. Panic is a sudden feeling of strong fear. He quickly pulled out his phone. He opened his email. He found the confirmation number. "Look," Kenji said, showing her the screen. "I have the confirmation right here. October 15th to October 20th, deluxe room with ocean view." Miss Stone looked at the phone. Then she looked at her computer. She sighed. It was the sigh of someone who has bad news. "I see what happened," she said. "There was a computer error in our central system. It seems we are overbooked." Kenji didn't know that word. Overbooked. But it sounded bad. "What does that mean?" Kenji asked. "Does it mean you don't have my room?" "It means we sold more rooms than we actually have," Miss Stone explained calmly. "The hotel is completely full tonight. There is a medical conference in town. Every room is taken. Kenji stood there. He was exhausted. His brain was foggy from the long flight. He wanted to get angry. He wanted to shout, "But I paid. This is your mistake." But he remembered his English lessons. He knew that getting angry rarely works with hotel staff. If you shout, they shut down. If you are polite but firm, they might help you. He took a deep breath. He tried to keep his voice steady. "Miss Stone," Kenji said. "I understand this is a difficult situation. But I have traveled for 18 hours. I have a valid confirmation. I cannot sleep in the lobby. You must have somewhere for me to stay." Miss Stone looked at him. She saw how tired he was. She saw that he was trying to be patient. "Let me check the system one more time," she said. Maybe there was a cancellation. She started typing again. This time, she typed faster. She picked up a phone and whispered something to the manager. Kenji waited. He looked around the beautiful lobby. It didn't look beautiful anymore. It looked like a prison with nice furniture. "Okay," Ms. Stone said, putting down the phone. "Mr. Soto, I have good news and bad news." Kenji's heart beat faster. "What is the bad news?" "The bad news is that we definitely do not have any deluxe ocean view rooms. They are all occupied." "And the good news?" Kenji asked. "The good news," she said, a small smile appearing on her face, "is that we have one room available. But it is not a normal room. It is the presidential suite." The presidential suite. This is usually the biggest, most expensive room in a hotel. It is where movie stars and presidents sleep. Kenji's eyes went wide. "The presidential suite," he repeated. "But I cannot afford that. My budget is fixed." He was worried about the cost. He imagined a bill for thousands of dollars. "I cannot pay extra," Kenji said quickly. "It was not my mistake." Miss Stone held up her hand. "Mr. Soto, because this was our error, and because you have been so patient, the upgrade is complimentary." Kenji felt his knees go weak with relief. Complimentary. He knew that word was going to be important. "Here are your keys," Miss Stone said. She placed two heavy, golden electronic cards on the counter. "You are on the top floor. Room 4001. Breakfast is also included." Kenji took the keys. He felt like he had won the lottery. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you very much." "Enjoy your stay," Miss Stone said. "And again, I apologize for the scare." Kenji walked toward the elevators. He pressed the button for the 40th floor. Kenji is going up to the penthouse. But before he opens the door, let's pause and look at the power words that saved his night. Word number 1, reservation. This is an arrangement to have something, like a room, a table, or a seat, held for your use at a later time. Example: I made a dinner reservation for 2 people at 7 p.m. Word number 2, overbooked. This happens when a company, like a hotel or airline, accepts more reservations than there are places available. It is a very common problem in the travel industry. Example: the flight was overbooked, so they offered me money to take a later plane. Word number 3, complimentary. This is a beautiful word. It means free of charge. It is given as a gift or a courtesy. Example: the hotel offers complimentary coffee and tea in the lobby every morning. Okay. Kenji has his reservation sorted out, he survived the overbooked hotel, and he got a complimentary upgrade. Let's see the room. Kenji opened the door to room 4001. He didn't walk into a room. He walked into a palace. The entryway had its own hallway. To the left, There was a living room with a giant leather sofa and a huge television. To the right, there was a dining table with 6 chairs. Kenji walked further in. The carpet was thick and soft under his feet. He found the bedroom. The bed was enormous, a king-size bed with 6 fluffy pillows. But the best part was the wall. The entire far wall was made of glass. Kenji walked to the window. He looked out. Below him, the city of San Francisco sparkled like a jewelry box. And there, in the distance, glowing orange in the mist, was the Golden Gate Bridge. He had booked a room with a view. But he got the view. Kenji sat on the edge of the giant bed. He laughed. It was a quiet laugh of disbelief. 5 minutes ago, he thought he was sleeping on the street. Now, he was sleeping like a king. He realized that travel is full of surprises. Sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes the computer loses your name. But if you stay calm, if you know your rights, and if you use polite language, bad situations can turn into amazing memories. He went to the bathroom. It had a jacuzzi tub. He turned on the water. He saw a basket of fancy soaps and shampoos. He picked up a small bottle. It said, complimentary. Kenji smiled. I love that word, he whispered. He ordered room service, a club sandwich and fries, watched a movie on the giant TV, and slept for 12 hours. When he woke up the next morning, the sun was rising over the bay. He drank his coffee looking at the bridge. He knew this was going to be the best trip of his life. Kenji learned that in English, being polite is often more powerful than being angry. By saying, I understand, instead of shouting, he solved the problem and got a reward. The moral of the story is this: honey catches more flies than vinegar. Be sweet, but be firm. Now, I have a question for you. I want to hear your travel stories. Have you ever had a problem at a hotel? Did they lose your reservation? Or was the room dirty? Tell me what happened in the comments below. Did you get an upgrade? If you want to travel the world with confidence and speak English fluently, please click subscribe and listen to this episode next. We are going to explore airport English, how to survive security and customs. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your complimentary breakfast, check your reservation, and I'll see you in the next story.